Yeah. Now I was talking about some information security tool which is being used or which is being used by the team of organization to secure their particular systems. Let's give some more time here. So first, I'll tell you about the access control thing. So what access control it's implemented and how it is being implemented. So as I was telling earlier, whenever you go inside the premise of an organization, first thing which happens is your access control. So whenever your security guard, if you are a new joiner and you don't have the access card and all, so they will give you the visitor access card, which will have very limited access. And that's from point one, the access control starts there itself. If you are a visitor, you will have very less access. If you are employee, you will have more access than visitor. This was for the normal access control I was talking about. Now coming back to the major access control, which happens into your day-to-day activities when you do in organization or even in your normal day-to-day life. So, whenever you log into Gmail, so we have our Gmail account or any email account, you have to create an ID and password for that. That is our access control. So only till the time I have the password, I only be able to see your emails. If I don't have the password, I will not be able to see your emails. So this is first level of access control where this is shown like, yeah, it is access only to you because password is only known to you. If you have manipulated that, if you have given a password to somebody else, he or she may access that too. That is again a risk. But yes, this is being shown that access control is important if till the time you know only the password. For that, now what is happening in terms of suppose somebody knows your password, now what company is coming into picture is two-factor authentication, 2FA. We call it as a 2FA. What does it mean? 2FA means two-factor authentication. One is a password and second is your OTP, or even there are various apps which generates the OTP type code. You can create TOTP on the screen itself, which can be used to log in onto the systems. If somebody knows the password as well, then that OTP will not allow him or her to log in onto the system till the time you don't provide that OTP as well. So two-factor authentication is going to be a must now in coming years, where to secure the sites and all. So most of the organization is implementing two-factor authentication. Banks already have done that, and some other secured systems is making that change into the system so that they must follow access control and all. Now, every access control, I must tell you, if you are aware, well and good. If not, access control is being reviewed also. So if you have got some access into the system, this is the work of information security team to validate that if particular access is still required to that user or not. I think every quarter, based on that organization point, every quarter, every month, access is reviewed so that if there is no desire of access, no need of access, that can be rejected. If there is need of access, it will be approved by their line manager and all. But yeah, it is important to have access control reviewed as well to have good data, good amount of data that is, yeah, these only have the access on that particular system. And nowadays, even company is giving role-based access control. So if I have a role of that particular thing, then only I will be getting that access. I don't have that role, I should not be getting this access. So how does they do that? So whenever a company or you ask for a row access, it will go for approval for 2-3 lines. One will be your line manager, one will be your business manager, one will be your data owner. So if business manager will know whether you require the access or not. If you don't require the access, he also will not approve that. So this is called role-based access control. So if that role pursue that, yeah, it is access is required, you will be granted the access. Otherwise, no need to get that access. There's important concepts in the coming days, like people will have the necessity, only they will get the access things. Okay. Moving to encryption now. So encryption means what? Encryption means every data which transmitted from one location to another location should be encrypted. So there should not be any modification while data travels or from one network to another network. This is most important. So hackers basically looks more importantly here, whenever the data transmits happens, they will try to steal the data in between the network itself. So what company do that? Whenever data moves from one location to the location, that data should be encrypted in between itself. So once encrypted, then it will be like encryption will happen. That thing. Now see, so what happens? How this is being done? So that email I was talking about. Whenever we used to send an email to anybody, the data first email gets encrypted, and then the party which is going to get the encryption, which is going to get the email, will decrypt that. This happen automatically through private and publicly. If this happens to HTTPS network. So all these are interlinked. So if somebody gets stolen, means data gets stolen in between, you'll not get proper messages from the email team as well. This is most important in terms of your encryption. Now coming back to your authentication, how authentication happens. So see, access control and authentication is two important things, and both are two different things as well. Yeah. So authentication means I have been authenticated to do something. The person who is given the access control also has given the authentication. Yeah, you are the right person to do that activity, or you have been authenticated by the team. You can go ahead and do that thing. So authentication is also most important tool while doing this particular information security thing. Moving again ahead for firewall. What does firewall means? Firewall is basically a wall, you can say, where all the network resides, which in that there's a mechanism which is written there, like what all networks should come inside, what all access can come inside, and what all access can go outside. So firewall of a company is most important, guys. In that, what happens is whenever any intruder wants to enter into your organization, firewall policy will block that if it is good enough. Or if somebody wants to store the data from inside as an employee, then firewall also will implement there, and that will also disable that. So firewall of an organization is most sensitive thing, which basically tells which data has to come inside and which data has to go outside. This is based on the networking capacity of the organization and how this is being managed. So there can be multiple firewalls into a network itself, which allow the segment or network to be conducted to how the business can be conducted there. So most important thing is your firewall. Now coming back to the physical security of thing. What does physical security means? Physical security, I told you, regarding hardware and networking components. Hardware comes your CCTV, as how employees being checked at the CCTV level. If something hazards happens, how it is being implemented. And important is your doors, the one doors which is being used to go inside and come in from inside, how it is being tracked. So the access control policy tells whether they have the data for that as well or not. Whenever you swipe the card, whether that gets stored or not, to know that whether to know who has got swiped when, if they require that data. It is important in terms of that. Yeah. Or everywhere there will be some security camera which tells yes what is going on, as if something is not into the correct manner, it has to be corrected. So security camera is most important aspects, where there is a team who sits in the camera room and see whether anything which is asymptomatic is being done by somebody. So this is the importance of that as well. Again, it doesn't only tell about your camera and all. There is a physical security also come regarding your temperature, humidity, airflow, and all for the computer equipments and all. So that this is very important, is to keep everything human as well as technology into picture. This temperature control, humidity control is being done in the organization as well. Yeah, there are security policies as well. Now, last I'll discuss about security policies. So security policy. Every organization will have their own security policies based on their area. Suppose IT systems are there. If they work for some clients, they will have their own security policies. Security policies will define completely what are the security plan and all. It will be brief security plan this security policies will be approved by the senior management of the organization, because they will implement that security policies into the systems. Security policies must focus on your confidentiality, availability, and integrity. which includes if it is government regulated organization, it should be written completely on that. It's a detailed policy, guys, which tells how the security is being implemented, what all who are the accessible, what are the roles, responsibility of the users, and many more things. So it is necessary to maintain the security policy organization to tell how secure we are. If something goes wrong, how to mitigate that as well. Who will be the responsible person for that? Everything is being maintained in security policies. Yeah, and there are many more which I'll not come into detail right now, but there are many more like personal information security, your backup plans, passwords, and all, which I'm not discussing here. But yeah, these all are the tools which is being used to secure the sites. Yeah. So this is most important thing which I want to highlight. Coming back to the other slides, let me go to that. Now, this is evolution of information security. What does that mean? So see, from 1980s to 2010s, I have this data for 2010s. So how this evolution of cyber security attack has happened. So see, first ransomware malware attacks has happened in 1980s only, where there were very less computers. So hackers were trying to steal that as well. But since the computers who were using in 1980s were too less, nothing has happened in between them. Then after 10 years, email threats, Windows, OS servers, malware variants started coming in. The email threats come nowadays as well. Windows, OS servers, all are nowadays also is being targeted by the cyber security, where they try to give the threat to Windows operating system that it will not work. They will try to steal your data from that as well. It is what in terms of 1990s, which is happening. Now in 2000, you will see in 2000, what has happened is website has been created. So website vulnerabilities started coming into picture. Phishing email, stolen credentials, attachments, all are vulnerable now. So we need to monitor all these as well. So, every organization will monitor your email which go outside and inside the organization. Even your Gmail do that, whether it is a antivirus thing is not, means they check whether it is a virus is there into the email or not as well. So, yeah. And you will see 2010, software supply chain, CEO fraud, ransomware attack, and many more, which is written there, website vulnerabilities, hacking and all. What does that CEO fraud means? So they will send an email in for the CEO as from the, like it will come like CEO's name into that email chain, and people or employee will think that mail is coming from CEO, and they may give this data, which is very sensitive data. As CEO knows, CEO deals with sensitive data, they may steal this data from them as well. So this is most important fraud nowadays, which is coming into picture. Yeah. Coming to see in the right side of this, the evaluation of information security from 2000 to 2019, if you'll see IT security, first there was IT security, then comes information security, and there's an integrated security. So there's the era. So see, from 2000 to 2005, there was IT security, which was coming into picture, which works towards your state of internet era, e-commerce attack, connected economy, and all. After that, in 2006 to 2010, there is a major damage incident happened for DDoS commands. As so SOX audit came into picture. Again, the business and risk takes their initiative there, and now there's integrated security. Why integrated? Because everything are now integrated now. Mobile device, your computers, everything comes into mobile. And even the payment industry, that PCI is being used globally now, because PCI is basically used by payment card industry, and in banking environment nowadays, every payment which has happened has a security aligned to that. And nowadays, which is coming as IoT security, information of things, which is more important as all the data gets stored there. Whatever you use Alexa, the data will get stored. So these all security are nowadays booming now. Now let me come to the last part, is career path and job opportunities. So now this is most important as a student. So I'll tell you this in security, guys, information security has got entry level position from senior position levels as well. It can be in security analyst as well, architect, network engineer, even security operations, cyber security, and many other roles are there. Yeah. Even if you senior level position will come as director of security, VP of security, who will be managing complete security infrastructure into the organization, who will be held responsible if something goes wrong. Yeah. So this is most important, I can tell, which happens as a means most interesting job, I can say, but yeah, most demanding as well. Now, this is most demanding skill in every industry. So cybersecurity role is not only related to your only one level of industry. The cybersecurity team is to be there in every industry. You name it, and it will be there either in banks, in normal IT industries, even in other area, pharmaceuticals, every area there will be cybersecurity team sitting beside to check their networks, to check their data as how it is being moved. So this is the main reason why it is demanding skill in every industry. And now see, as per the data I'm showing you, employment of information security analysts is projected to grow 31% from 2021 to 2030. So in this 10 years, you see the employment is going to be having more than 31% of employment is required there. Why I'm talking about this? Because every organization needs security analyst or security guys, which will deal with that. So there is a heavy demand of this particular role. So this is a data which has come into picture that 31% is being projected from 2021 to 2030. So see what is the demand and how is the demand of this particular area in security. Yeah.